And new this morning, two men were ordered to be held without bail after a judge deemed them too dangerous to be released in connection with an assault on two individuals at a Sunderland liquor store last Tuesday. Now, 30-year-old Warren Martinez from Northampton and 24-year-old Thomas Patnode of Greenfield, both pleading not guilty in Greenfield District Court on Monday. Both men are accused of assaulting a store employee and another person in that store after the employee refused to sell them alcohol. The employee is now suffering from some significant injuries, and Patnode is also charged with threatening a witness. In Monday's arraignment, the judge ordered both suspects to remain detained. They are scheduled to be back in court on August 22nd.